Hello everyone, Lisa here with What's Crafting Wednesday. I hope everyone had a great week. I like to start with a shout out to Judy. Happy birthday, Judy. I hope you had a great day today. Okay, everyone. Jennifer had a request. She wanted me to do a What's Crafting Wednesday with the jar of flowers. So I think I will devote the whole month of March each week to a jar of flowers and try and show you something different each week rather than just stamping their traditional jar of flowers. But before we get started with today, let's do the drawing from last week. I have the 2 raspberry cards here and all of my tickets with everybody's names on them. So let's just get these broken up here. Hit my light, okay. Mix them up a little more. Okay, and let me see. I have one here, and it is Lisa. All right, well, congratulations, Lisa. I will get these off in the mail to you. Just put it aside. Okay, so here is the card that we will be making this evening, and I'm using the jar of flowers and the butterfly gala just for the sentiment. And here is the inside. And I have also used the 2020 to 2022 In-Color DSP. Some basic rhinestones and matte black dots, and we'll be using dimensionals and the double oval punch. And the card base is Magenta Madness. So let's get started. The Magenta Madness is cut 5.5 by 8.5, and we will score it at 4 1/4. And I have basic white for the inside that is 5 1/4 by 4, and basic black for the front that is 5 1/4 by 4, and a basic white that we'll be stamping on that's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then a strip of the In-Color DSP that is 1 1/8 wide by 4 inches long. Okay, so let's get our scoring done. It'll be 4 1/4. Okay. Just fold and use the bone folder on here. And I'm going to put this aside for right now because we're going to stamp the envelope and the inside first, because as I go along you will see why. And I'm just looking, and I must have put my Memento ink pad away, so let me get that out. Okay, now we're set. So I am using the Stamparatus, and I have put the stamp on here. And just to show you, if you're not familiar with the Stamparatus, it comes with a foam piece, and you would remove this if you were using rubber stamps, and you put it back in when you're using photopolymer because you need that extra depth. And so we'll just put that back in there. And I also use a magnet sheet, gives it a little more depth. and it gives it a nice surface for stamping on. And I use that with the rubber stamps and with the photopolymer. But this foam piece you would use with the photopolymer only. And then we have grid paper that is just for the Stamparatus. Now here's my envelope. Now I think that was the spot where I had put it to stamp. Yes. And I've already gotten ink on my finger. Okay, let's just hope I don't get it on the card. Ink this up. And then just press on it and lift it. And that looks good, but I'll just show you how you can go right over it again if you wanted it to be a deeper color or more vibrant. You could just ink it up again because it's going to stamp right over where you just stamped it. And there you have it. So that is our envelope. And now we'll do the same thing with the inside. And the reason I was doing it this way, because as we keep stamping, we're going to get a lot of ink buildup here, and it could then transfer to the back of the envelope. So that's the reason I'm going a little backwards today and stamping the envelope and the inside of the card first. Again, it does look good, but I'll just show you how we can ink it again and just go right over it. And where did I put my 3 3/4? Oh, here it is. So now this here is the fun part. Now this piece is 3 3/4, and you can do this pretty much with any size, just as long as it is square. And now we're just going to make a turn, and we're just going to stamp this all around. And we're going to create this pretty frame for the card. Now see, this time it is a little less vibrant there in the end. I mustn't have inked the stamp fully or pressed down good. And then we just do another quarter turn. And then you can see here how we're getting the ink build up, and that's why I just didn't want to get any ink smeared onto the envelope. And how did I think of that? Yes, when I made the card sample, I did smear ink onto the envelope. All right, and one more turn. Now, I think the Stamparatus is the greatest stamping tool ever. You can do so much with this. It's great for repetitive stamping. It's great for wreath stamping, something like we just did now. I'll just get that out of the way. And now for the card assembly. Cover the ink pad. So I just place this on here. So we have a little border around it. And that piece there. Oh, this one I didn't trim down to 4. Okay. This the right side. Yep, this one here I just have to trim a little bit. I will be right back. I know the problem. It should have been 3 3/4, and I had it cut at 4. Okay, That's better. So what do I have written down here? Oh, I have it written down as 4. Let me just correct this here. So that is 3 3/4. Okay. So I just placed it so I knew where I wanted it, and then I adhered it with the liquid glue. If you hear any squeaking, that's Harry playing with one of his toys. And he is feeling much better after his surgery last week, and he'll get his stitches out next week. And everything was fine with his testing. And it's just a little strip of DSP there to give the black and white some color. Nice little pop of color there. And then just adhere it flat to the front of the card. And then we're going to stamp the sentiment. I have some scrap paper here. And again, I stamped this in the Memento Tuxedo Black. And when I punched it out, let's see if you can see here, I punched it a little higher in the oval so that I could put the black enamel dots on the bottom. So I didn't center it, I punched it up higher. And Harry just ran off. He doesn't like when I use the punch. And I have a scrap here of the Magenta Madness. Oh, I didn't use Magenta Madness. I used Basic Black. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Let's see how it looks. No, I don't like it. Let me get a piece of Basic Black. I don't know how I did that. All right, let me just grab a scrap here that I can punch out. Okay. And this here, I adhered flat onto this scalloped, but then I did adhere it to the card with dimensionals. Okay. And then let's add here the inside. Okay. And do you know what I did next? Wink of Stella. Yes, Wendy, this is for you. I just took a little bit and added it in just on these, just a little bit, just to give it a little sparkle. So any of these little ones here, I filled in the centers, and then on the flowers, I just gave a little bit here and a little bit in there. I don't know if you can see that. And then of course I did it all in the front of the card. And just in there, a little bit in there, along there. And I just went around the whole thing and added this. Okay, and just going around, it just gives it that little extra. because even just stamping this in the black and white, it is very pretty, but this just makes it pop. If you could see this in real, then you would see what I mean. I don't know, I hope you can see it. And then of course it went on the envelope too. And adding Wink of Stella is so fast. And then I adhere the sentiment with dimensionals. I just put 3 across the back of it. Okay. Get the backings off here. So how many of you have the Jar of Flowers bundle? I do know that Jennifer has it, and I guess that's why she asked that I feature it. But I'd love to know if anyone else has it, if you've used it yet, if you've done anything besides stamping traditional vases of flowers. Leave me a comment and let me know. Now with this, and I just added the large one in the middle and then a smaller one on each side. Okay, and then when I was all done, I added the rhinestones because I saw I had a little tiny smudge of ink underneath there. So I thought, why not add a little more bling? And I thought with the Wink of Stella, we have the shimmer from that, adding a few rhinestones looked good. So what did I do? I did a large, and a small. Okay. So I'll just stick them in the same place. And so that's a little something different to do with the Jar of Flowers stamp set. Made this pretty frame with the very useful and practical Stamparatus. And then there's that pretty shimmer. And the inside and the envelope. Okay, everyone, that is it for this week's Jar of Flowers feature. I'll be back next week with hopefully another idea. I think I may have gotten myself in trouble with this because I think there's 5 Wednesdays this year in March. So let's see if I can come up with 5 different ideas for this stamp set. It comes with 4 different floral images, 2 different size jars, and the jar stamps are reversible, and you can stamp on the other side. You can stamp this, and then you can flip it over and you can stamp that. And the same thing with the smaller jar, which I haven't fully assembled my stamp set yet. And this is something new, the way the stamp sets are coming, where you can put your stamps directly on here. The images are printed on here, and then you can put them directly on here if you don't want to keep them on this here. So that's very practical. And this comes as just a stamp set, and also the bundle with the jar punch. And with the bundles, there's always the 10% savings. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed tonight's Jar of Flowers feature. leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Just say hello. Tell me if you have the stamp set, if you like this card. If you like using Wink of Stella. And Wendy, you don't have to answer that one because I know the answer is a big yes. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. I look forward to those comments, and I will see you back here next Wednesday at 7. Thank you. Bye.